Yeah, how about now? I think it's fixed. Thanks for the heads up, because I would have gone the whole session without turning the sound on. Should be fixed. Okay, yeah. Yeah, thanks for the heads up there. It's yeah, I did a YouTube video this morning, so I've been editing and like yeah, so the sound, the mic's off. Cheers. How's it going, Jack? Thanks for joining. So yeah, it's only Thursday, but I've already got a bit of a case of the Friday. So yeah, we got Wizard Towers Church Tavern, and Market. And I guess we can do quick descriptions. So where weapons and armor are made. Yeah. So we're getting through this big slog of creating this town system, because I think that's the best sort of form of the upgrade system. So like when you finish a run, you get some points and you spend those points upgrading these buildings. And we need to do this times 4. We need to do this for the orcs, for the undead, and for the demons as well. But now that we've done the first one, the next one should be a bit quicker to do. And this one's taken me about like this week, basically. A bit longer than that, I guess. And that was a big one because it was like, shit, I need to improve the progression system. I came up with this one where you're developing a town, but I was aware that was going to mean that I would have to draw a bunch of shit, and it would be a bit of effort, but I think it's worth it. I think it helps tell the story. I think it's nice and visually interesting and makes for a good trailer shot, and it should mean that as you're playing the game, you kind of have that. I mean, yeah, you literally are. You're upgrading a town. You get those like Warcraft 3, Age of Empires vibes a little bit. So it's worth it. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it. And fairly soon we'll be done with it, and then we can get back to all the other problems in the game. And soon enough, we will be at the finish line, and we can start focusing solely on like balancing. And of course, there's the story to do, but that takes surprisingly quick. Place to study magic. How's your project going? Place. They both start with a place. Or where weapons are made. A place to study magic. A place to relax. And recover energy. A place. The center. Buy all sorts of upgrades. I don't know. These are just placeholder for the moment. Okay, and we need each of these up here, so it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I've never done that. To be honest, I don't think my PC could handle much of what Unreal does at the creator end. So yeah, Blacksmith, Wizard Towers. Even though it's Wizard and Witch Towers. And then it was Tavern and Market. Okay, one of the things that each one is going to have is actually... So a building... Yeah, see, a building is going to need... Nice. This was not a bad PC 10, 15 years ago, but now it's not anymore. I think the main thing is that I just don't have enough RAM. Like, I've got like 4 gigabytes or even 2 gigabytes or something, just not a lot. So I'm just thinking, no, so I haven't serialized this. There's no reason. So each building, public, is going to need a list of sprites. Do I have to say it equals new list? I guess not. If I'm not doing it there, I shouldn't have to do it here. So each building has a list of sprites. Yeah. So castle.sprites equals new list. And then we actually need to like store each one. And am I going to store it here or am I going to store it in my sprites thing? I'm going to store it in my sprites thing. So I'll put it. So this is like a change of the structure from before. But let's call buildings. So we go public sprite. Oh no, that's just in stuff. We want sprites. Wait, did I even make that in the end? I'm sure I did. Yeah. Okay, and then this actually would then need... Do we have sprites? Yeah. And then we can go... Yeah, we do have it. We do have it. Okay, good. Just couldn't see it. So then in sprites, we set our little section. Oh, okay, we've already started making that. So this ends up just being a very big list of sprites. And I'm going to want to put, I guess, after all the characters and shit, we have buildings. Let's put it at the top. And we'll have castle. Castle 1, or just castle only has one form, public. This we go, it's castle, and there's 7 in total, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Castle, barracks, church, blacksmith, towers, tavern, okay, and then they're there, and that should be enough. What's the problem here? So it's because blacksmith exists as a sprite and a building, which is an argument in favor of like maybe not putting it there, but let's just go blacksmith building, and maybe they should all have building after. And actually we need we need 4 versions of each. Okay, this could get confusing. Maybe they should just exist on the same thing. So like building sprites just exist on buildings. I just find it a bit unclean. Oh, 48. Jesus, I didn't even know it went up that high. I mean, obviously, that's a lot, I think. Yeah, Unity's fine. Unity's fairly low. I mean, it does complain though. So like when I play the game through Unity, it runs really slow. And it's a good way to make sure that I keep my game optimized. So for me, it's like if it can run smooth for me, then it can run at least to some degree on everyone's computer, and on a nice computer it could run even better. So I might actually like up the max units cap for people with better computers, and if it changes the game, it changes the game, you know. Okay, so do we need some kind of suffix? Castle building. Yeah, let's just put building at the end of each one. And we're gonna need 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or should we do the Roman numerals? Let's just do numbers. Okay, so actually, yeah, this isn't the most efficient way to do this, but it's fine. yeah, no, this morning just made a YouTube video how to avoid burnout. I think it's like, I think I've got good advice there after all the time I've spent doing this. But I had to spend 2 mornings to make this quite simple YouTube video, and I just kind of like wonder if I should just focus on being a dev, because 2 mornings is like, I don't know. But it's kind of like, as I say in the video, it's good to do different things so you don't get burnt out on doing the same thing all the time. Maybe. And yeah, I have to get the word out about these games out somehow. Okay, so then in buildings, we'll have to make this line, which should be easy to copy paste. And then if I open close brackets and we go stuff sprites, do I have to do stuff.c.sprites? Castle. Okay, and in the case of the barracks, and then we do that. Two, three, and then this line, and this is barracks. And this line needs to be copied and then we just change the name barracks to the one that it should be in each case. Could Claude have done that for me quicker? I don't know. Probably. Yeah, I didn't replace my computer for a while because when I had my last job at DragX, they gave me a really, really nice computer. And it did everything, and I kind of got that out of my system, and now I'm back here, and I'm like, yeah, I can wait a little bit before I upgrade it. Especially now, like I hear that now is a really bad time to be upgrading your computer because it's like everything's so super expensive. So I can wait. Thing is, I reckon the prices will never actually come down. I reckon the prices are just going to, yeah, they're not going to come down. They're just going to, what do I mean? Like they're just going to stay. Like they're just going to not increase for a while. Like so, if the pressure on resources from like these AI companies, like if that goes down, or if they catch up with the demand, they're not going to lower the price. They're just going to not raise it as much. If even, that's what I reckon. I don't think it's going to be like, oh, we found all the lithium, or we found all the chips that we need, we're going to lower the price. No, I don't think they're going to do that. Okay, so when we set up the building, then, so when we go into building, in fact, we don't actually have a little bit where we set up the building. Set up base. Set up each building for each, and then how do we do this? So we go current base.name, and then we say like actually we're going to be looking for .transform.getChild, and this is like maybe not the best way to do it, but I want to just get buildings transform building equals trans dot equals buildings get building trans dot name, and then we say so the building itself has the sprite. No, it doesn't. Okay. So actually we should have like a, yeah, building container. Yeah, we do have it. Okay. Trans dot get component building container. Is that, wait, is that how you do it? Get component? Dot sprite renderer, which we don't have. And since I haven't done prefabs, I'll have to do this for all of them at the moment, so let's avoid that in future. But the sprite renderer is just the I mean, we could set it to okay, and then that number we need to consider. So each building will have a level then, won't it? Yeah. Is that where we would store it? Would it be the building container? Yeah, it would be the building. Raycast before, because it needs to highlight. So we need to, and yeah, like it's not the quickest way. I think I talked about this when I did it. Ideally, I would have a central controller that's doing the raycast, but this was just easier because all I have to do is, shit, why? Shit, you got me all messed up now. It's because I'm going to do a wait, yeah, no, hold on. Why do I do it like that? How dare you? Yeah. Yeah, there's no reason, I'm afraid. This is me being stupid in this case. I'm thinking of the other one, and what's it called? The highlighter that's on the map that I'm going to put on these ones. But yeah, good call, thank you. I mean, it doesn't make a difference, but it is better to do it like this. For my highlighter, I think that's where I've got it, that we raycast before checking for the mouse input, precisely because we need to know at all times, because it can be highlighted if the mouse goes over. But yeah, in this case, there's honestly no reason at all. Okay. I'd like to think there's a good excuse, like, oh, I was going to do a highlight thing later, but I think in this case I was just being silly. Sprite renderer. Yeah, is that, and then a building should have a level. Yeah, where do I store building level? Because this is going to be something that's going to need to be saved as well. So let me have a quick look at save load, meta progress. I should probably put this in the same file, to be honest. And we have leafs. So we have the upgrades. So we can check if you've bought the upgrade that does that one, but actually we should store it. So we could say if you've unlocked this on the building, then it's this level. But actually, I think that's a bit awkward. I think better to say that a building has a level or tier. I think level is good. starting at 0, going up to 3, and well, actually just start at 1. Well, most buildings will start at 0. Actually, I think the castle starts at 1. And the rest start at 0 because you actually have to build them, so they start as like not existing. Okay. So how are we going to save that? Because we saved the leaves easily. That's a vestigial name. The leaf is basically an upgrade, a permanent upgrade that you've bought. And we can check, have you bought the upgrade that brings this building to the next tier? We can do that. But that does feel a bit awkward. So I'm just trying to think what the lesser evil is. Because so we would write a script that sort of determines the level based on like if this is unlocked. So in fact that might actually be the easier way to do it. Let's just like start doing that and see how it feels. So in base manager, we're setting up each building. Okay, so we're trying to figure out what tier to put it at. If int level, building level, equals 0. This might be a bit awkward. If building, if. Okay, yeah, no, I know how to do it. So the building does have a level. And when we load the game, so remove any leaves, sync up achievements, apply leaf, apply leaf. Hero unlock, stage unlock, stats. Level 2. Okay, sure. Spaghetti. Alright, so what we want to ask is... And then do we have it in leaves? So where do we name the leaves? So we say church 2. Milestone, that means it's a milestone. So we can check. So yeah, we determined that some of them are milestones. So if they are a milestone, because if we so basically if I say look for it by name, the name's not going to match. We need to find the building associated with this leaf. What else do we have on leaf? Type. Talent. So we could say if it's a milestone, we say milestone equals barracks. Luckily we haven't built all this yet, so we don't have to do it for all. That's why I do it like bit at a time, because you find all the mistakes you're going to make. Church. Okay. So then if leaf.milestone is not equal to NA, then building buildings.get building leaf.milestone. So then we have the building associated. Okay, and then we need to know, like, how strong is it? So we would have an int somewhere that's like, how strong is this? We don't have any ints. Jesus. Is there a better way to do this? I'm just thinking like, okay, so a leaf would then have we need to do for the leaves. Building milestone. We could do all kinds of things, like we could look for clean name, like we could look for a name that doesn't have the number next to it. And then do we have Costas master? No, that's not right. Okay, screw it. It shouldn't be too difficult to do this then. Public int building milestone level value. Okay, good. So then now, back down to apply leaf. Don't know if there was a better way to do that, but that's how I did it. Okay. Okay. That'll do it. And we'll see how broken that ends up being. Okay. That's part of it. Right, now I want to get back to like pressing play and seeing what's missing. So the first step to that is actually the main thing that I know is a thing that we'll need. We go to scenes map, and we're trying to get this highlighter, and I just made a bit of code and a bit of graphic. The map sprite highlighter. Just remind myself what that does. If we're looking at it, set animated to highlight. If not, then don't. And we can put the same things on that. So we'll need... I swear it used to do a much better job of like helping me see. So when I clicked on something in the scene, it would show me which parent, right? It would highlight the parent. I guess it doesn't do that anymore. So this one has, so we just need to make sure that each building has this thing called highlight inside. and that it has the code. So back to base. Let's grab barracks to begin with, I think. We'll add that script, even though we're not in map anymore. And inside the barracks, we make sure we have the highlight, which should be that seems odd. Ah, bloody hell. I always do this. I move the sprite instead of moving the container inside it. It's fine. And then so the highlight would be, should be and so the highlight sprite needs to be changed to that as well. So when we set up each building, so we have so we grab the highlight thing, and we need to say when we're loading them in, building container dot highlight renderer equals the same sprite. We're going to put that on so we can test it. So the scale should be the same. Why is it not? So that needs to be also 10. And also this needs to have an animator. And the controller would be, shit, what's the name of the controller? So go back to map, save, back to map. And this guy again, why won't it show me where it is? It's fine. So the animator, I just want to copy this then. I'm pretty crap at naming things sometimes, don't judge me too harshly. Because it's not really going to matter. So then we go here. So then hopefully oh god, so the highlighter so the scale is modified, the scale of the actual root object itself, and not based on, okay, interesting, and the okay, so this isn't going to work unless the animation was not doing the base object, but instead was doing the middle object, and if it was doing it from so yeah, about, so what is it doing the highlight? It's going from highlight scale. Why is it not showing me up there? Oh, it just gets bigger. Oh, I see, yeah. And then the scale of the barracks goes 5 to 5.5 and then back down. So actually what it should be doing is taking the sprite renderer here, except I could just make another animation. That might be easier. Rather than doing this like Unity Jiu-Jitsu. I could just make another animator. And just do it quickly. As opposed to like messing with the stuff that I have. Yeah, let's do that. So I'll just use the same like parameters so the map highlighter script will still work. So I guess we want idle. No. Base building idle. And then yep, should do it. And then so when we're highlighting, so this should be okay. So, and I guess I would want to take like, yeah, it's a shame that I just didn't do that. Maybe that's actually what I should do. Just do the other animation properly, where basically it's the object that should be scaled up, not the sprite renderer inside. And then the sprite renderer inside, its scale would go from like 0.9 to 1.1, and then it would work for any object at any scale. Yeah, that would work better. Got some old balloon stuck to my sock, and it looked like some weird shit. Right. So yeah, because I now want to bounce back and see just like what were the exact like timings and stuff, but so this goes to like 7.5, let's say, and switches on, and this highlighter ought to be problem. Okay, so buildings ought to be at position 1, and there'll be a bit of fiddling to do here. This really should be a prefab, but we'll get there. It's only like 6 things, so it's not a big deal. Yeah, we should use a prefab so that things apply to all. So these should all be at 1, and then the sprite renderer would be at 0. Wait, no, the highlight would be at 0. And then so when we highlight, We shouldn't have to animate that first part actually, so we go here, go 7.5 to Does that look all right? I feel like the pivot might need to be on the inside. Like, because the pivot's at the bottom, maybe it's not working so well. And then in this case, the building. So it's actually, like, so this is what should be at a scale of 7. And this should be at a scale of 1. And this also should be at a scale, let's put it at 0.5. And then 1.1, 1.05, let's say, 1.1. But it's not. No, the barracks itself. No. See, I've got this all wrong. No. Oh dear. Okay, so 7. That stays. That's not animated. It's the building inside that gets animated. And it goes, well, let's turn this off. The building inside is at 1. Highlight is at 0.5, let's say, or 0.75. And then it should, like, so this is how I should have done it originally, and this just means that it will work universally for anything, which is a bit redundant since it's, I think this is the last thing I'm going to do this to, but that's how we learn, isn't it? Right, so then the animation of the highlight would go, also the building itself would go to like 1.1, and it would just stay there. So we don't need these other keyframes for that. And then the highlight would be more like 1.5. We should actually tie these up because they might as well be 1.2. 1.15. 1.2. Dear oh dear. Okay, we'll get these things exact later, but I just want to get this working in principle. And then idle is like, yeah. So that's how it ought to be. Okay. So all of these would need this animator on. We'll see about how this interacts with the flag waving. And then we would need one of these for each of them. And I think the position, oh, has it kept the right position? That would be nice. But then all of these, so the building renderers need to be put back down to 1. And it's the buildings themselves that need to be brought up to the context of the scene. Okay, what's going on here? Funny things happening occasionally, that's fine. But the market, yeah, for some reason they're just way off their position, because when I move them, I'm like grabbing the sprite renderer instead of the thing. So it's a common mistake I make. Right, so they've all got their highlights, which is sort of invisible by default. It should match the thing. So I just kind of want to try this now. And they each have should each have this component. Okay, let's give that a whirl. All my games are on sale and everyone's still just buying Interrogation Simulator, and Interrogation Simulator is the only game that's not on sale. It's funny. Okay. Alright, yeah. Did I not just press play? Okay, yeah, that's good to know. Leave the milestone. Yeah, just ignore the transition. Why is that a problem? Because I haven't said it. Again, this is why you should use prefabs, because I'm going to have to do this a bunch of times now. I guess I could just put it in the script. It's not a big deal. It is technically better to do it in Unity. Apparently it's better for optimization, but at this level it's not going to make any difference at all. Oh, he was talking about raycasting for these when you click on the building. So this line was down here, and he made a good point, because it's like there's no possible reason you would have the and yeah, it's just a common mistake. I do. It's not like I don't know that principle, but Yeah, I just left it out for some reason. Okay, it's because these don't have it yet. Should I just, because alt camp I don't think it even exists in any context yet. Yeah, let's just delete that. I think I just wanted to like demo that being possible. And I guess, wait, why would it even try to do that? Okay. Yeah, wait, no, that shouldn't have been an issue. Okay. So in basis transform, current base dot name dot get child 0. Okay. But is one of them at 4? See if that worked. Oh, don't give me that. Sprites. And so the problem is it's saying because it should have sprites. So I don't see what the problem there would be. Yeah, so it can't be -1, obviously, then. Building level. So the building level is 0. Has 4 sprites. And if level starts at 0, yeah, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I'm correct, and then so castle 1. Wait, so why did it do those 3, but not... That's odd. I'm probably just being really stupid here and missing something obvious. I'm really confused as to why it would tell me... Oh, it's because it's collapsed, that's why. Okay, good to know. Then it gets to castle, which is level 1. And... I guess castle would have to be considered level 0. Because it's not something you build. So if we just make castle... I think that's got to be the answer. Such funky things that I didn't consider when I was putting this together. Okay. Okay, that's why. It's because I hadn't named that properly. Okay, that's more reasonable. So, call this Wizard Towers. Probably change the name. Lots of schoolboy errors today. Okay. And so now, hey Leo, how's it going? Thanks for joining. Oh, by the way, when you said that the stuff that was in the how not to make a game video was like not useless and you found it useful, it gave me inspiration. So finally got round to producing another little similar YouTube video with some advice. Okay, so that's good. We have that working, except it's going to be referencing 0 sprites. So actually, I guess one of the things we need is like a bit of rubble. And then in buildings, are any of these going to start at higher than level 0? Let's say no. Let's say like the town has actually been like sacked and all that stands is the castle and that's at level 0. Everything else is also at level 0 and it's broken, except maybe the barracks is level 1. Let's try it like that. And yeah, we'll always put it below. So yeah, barracks start. And we have the tedious job of getting our stuff. Title screen, get stuff, get our sprites, and we go. So these are like, a lot of these are empty at the moment because we kind of, the way I used to do it is I would put this kind of, these sprites like on the relevant script, but I actually think it is better to put all the sprites in one place, like a sprites folder, and then anytime you're looking for one of the sprites you have, it's in here. I just think it's better to do it this way. It means you can kind of set that up before everything else, and it just works. But I've only halfway done it. But yeah, anyway, Ironwell buildings, and I think what I can do, copy. Can I like grab a bunch of these? Because I just want them all to say that, just so I don't have to like type it in. I wish I could grab a bunch. Yes, please. Yeah, I'm invested in your Bear Woman adventures. I want to know if you were able to. Did you manage to sleep without nightmares last night? Without nightmares of being like camping and then this lady appears and starts to eat all your honey. Yeah, this is such tedious, silly work. I'm gonna find out like when I'm 50 that there was a better way to have done this, and I could have saved myself a lot of bullshit. But in fact, actually, I'm probably better off going bases and well buildings and just dragging them in manually. Yeah. Well. So that's castle is number 0. There we go. 1, 2. And yeah, I've heard, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but Unity does actually prefer that you click and drag it here, because if you can do like a resources.load and then name the things and have it find the sprite based on the name. But actually this takes less effort for the machine. Probably only a marginal, like a completely nominal boost, but this is the correct way apparently. I remember watching videos of people tearing apart the code in Yandere Dev, and I think a little bit in Pirate Software's games, and I'm like, can you do that for me, please? Can someone come and just like tell me how terrible I am at programming? And instead of complaining about it and being like, no, you don't understand, I'm gonna be like, yes, please, thank you for the free, like, thousands of pounds worth of advice. Yes, please, I'll take that. Okay, so that should have helped a bit. And then, but we need a sprite for building 0. So actually, each of these would want to start with, because if we go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, those are the levels. That's 5. So we would actually need a 5th one, and the first one would always be like rubble. Like you haven't even upgraded this building yet. But you know what? I always have a problem with that. I always have a problem with that sort of counting from 0 and like, yeah, it doesn't match. It doesn't match me very well. Like I'm not, like, I always get it slightly wrong. But here we go. Here we have something. I think that is definitely the wrong building there. I don't know why everything's breaking. So we will have a look at the console and find out. Okay, nothing's broken yet. And we can highlight. I think for one thing, the colliders are probably like massive. I think that's what's happening here. So let me have a look at the collider. Why doesn't it? Is that like? Did I turn that off or something? Is that a setting that I turned off where if you select something, it highlights the parent? Okay, yeah, they've all got massive Massive colliders on. Okay, that's an easy fix. Rather embarrassing, but easy to fix. Right, so doesn't have to be perfect just now. But yeah, I should go through and do each one individually, but I guess 1, just to keep it simple. And then the width should definitely not be 1. Maybe it can. Hold on. How does that end up? It means that you're never going to miss it, but you're never going to click the wrong one by mistake. So yeah, I think that's fine. Although the highlight's going to feel weird if you're like putting the mouse up here and this highlights. So we'll just change it for the ones that need changing. I think you might have missed a step there. Yeah, so how's the bear woman going to suffer massive losses? Okay, I like the highlight. Is it just distracting and weird, or is it just like it's very clear? The mouse switches off, so that should never happen. Unless, yeah, I don't know if that's irksome, but basically it switches off because it's like considering that you might be playing with a controller, and so it just switches off whenever you use like an axis. And it definitely feels like mismatched. So like that is not. So did I just do it wrong? Again, I swear it used to. I really swear it used to highlight the parent when I grab something in the scene. But that's the barracks. That's not the tavern. That's not the tavern. Did my brain just switch off when I was assigning these in title screen? Yeah, no, my brain switched off. It happens. All right, so that is blacksmith building. It's generally I try and do these things in the same order. But yeah, that's not the blacksmith building. This is the blacksmith building. So usually I'm able to just put the sprites in the order of the list because I just keep the same order, but I guess I didn't do that. Having a real case of the Fridays, even though it's only Thursday. Guess I'm just tired. Been doing other shit. I've had a bit of freelance work, which is nice. Hopefully that like all goes well and they actually pay me and stuff. Okay, what am I doing? Okay, and we had this other little issue. I keep doing that. Oh, what's this flag doing over here? Oh, I know. Damn it. Okay, so that should be a 1. And I need to put it back. And I also want to see how this interacts with the highlight system. Does it look weird? Does it look fine? Because the highlighted version won't be flapping in the wind. And in fact, there won't be a highlighted version. I suppose I could add it. Wouldn't be too difficult. Just add it as a child object. That'll probably work. Just for the ones that have the flag. Okay, let's give that a try. Yeah, it looks awful. Also, why is that the only one to have? And what I want is for it to highlight and then just click on it and then just open it up here. I swear, like, is it just me or is there some missing functionality? Maybe I just need to restart. So the highlight in this case appears to be off rotation. So let's make sure it's the same. Oh. Yeah, because that needs to be the second one. Okay, yeah, I reckon that'll fix it then. Yeah. And as you can see, like, it just, the flag doesn't move with it or anything. I don't know, it's a bit weird. I think there are better highlights out there. So we might need to come back and revisit this, but for now it's just very clear, like, yes, you are aiming at that thing. And oh, and here we go. So what happened now? Open building. Ah, okay, because I need to put in my bits for each building. So we go into the canvas now. And basically every building that exists is going to need to be represented in the UI. So, blacksmith. And these achievements transform. No, so this would just be empty in each of these cases for now. Blacksmith, tavern, wizard towers. Okay, I think wizard towers is going to have to change. I'll change it to like Magic Academy. I think that was better. Yeah, so never mind that hideous UI and the lack of stuff, but basically, yeah, here we access our, I think, up and down. A and, or yeah, vertical axis to control, to scroll on building. That's something we should have. And then we can open the market, which has nothing in it. can open this, which has nothing in it, and then let's go over here. This has some stuff in it, and we can buy the barracks. And then that went to level 2. Wait, did that just happen? And choose soldier, attack drills. Did I make it so that every time we open this window we get some? Yeah, just a little cheeky cheat. And then, wait, so when you upgrade the building, milestone, and then we want, so we have this one. Need to just update the sprite somewhere in here. I'm just gonna hit that. It's gonna be, well, yeah, I guess I should update the building. I should make a little function, so void update building, where we stone, scaffolding animations, clouds of dust appears to reveal a new building, and then, so like it would be around here that we say update building, and so we need to hit milestone on a transform. And we're going to get a bug here for hit milestone, because we have pressed a button. And then do we have a current building? 3 hours of sleep. You should get more sleep than that. You should look after yourself. Game dev is hard. So do we have any relation to like which is the current building that's been clicked? Wait, so then we wouldn't actually need to know that. Where you're young, you can get away with stuff like that. When you're young, you can sleep like a crazy person. Or, you know, not sleep like a crazy person. So I'm getting confused. So that right? Yeah, that'll do, I think. My kid's really crying. You probably can't hear it, but I can just hear this like endless sobbing from this sick kid. Like I said, vaccines, cold and throat infection, probably from the cold altogether. So we got him so we took him to the doctor today, but he's not happy about it. He's crying like terror. Wait, so it's saying we've already unlocked that. So why is it showing? I think I need. Yeah. So it's not saving. It's not saving building levels. So here we go, apply leaf. So where was I? So this should be meaning that when we log in, because we've unlocked it should be going to the next sprite in the list. Yeah. So that's happened. So this is unlocked. Milestone level. So the leaves. Did I put it in there? Milestone level equals 1, and then in base manager we say why is that not happening? Yeah, so why is that not appearing like it's at level 2? Barracks 0. But Okay, I think there's something. Yeah, here's the problem. I always get this one mixed up. So yeah, we have a thing where we sync up the leaves. This is to make sure that. Yeah, I need to find a better way around this. Like, it's always to make sure that if something changes, then the game doesn't just crash on launch. Basically, if just because the leaves have changed at my end, so. Building milestone level. So we're just saying, like, yeah, make sure the leaves match. The alternative is that they don't match and then the game fails to load, basically. So we have to say, like, add them and then, like, line them all up. So this should appear to be the level 2 one. Very nice. We're gonna have to, yeah, bear with me. Just cheesing out these points. And then barracks level 2, and we cutscene, and then hi, you've got the new barracks, and then you can open it up again and start unlocking the really good stuff here. Of course, this whole UI is going to need a big glow up, but we have achieved, see the clicking and dragging, yeah, okay, that's annoying. Should it be on, like, yeah, don't select buildings when clicking and dragging. Not sure exactly how to do that, because I could make it only happen on the mouse up, but that would still be annoying. And also don't hide mouse when using keyboard. It should only be for the controller. Okay. So program highlighting, test and fix upgrading buildings. We have done that. Right, the flag. Also flags and chimney smoke, because we may have more buildings in the future. So the first one is the flag here doesn't yeah, we can't be killing the mouse like that. The flag, as you can see, doesn't move with the rest of it, and I need it to. I want to be able to put a flag there, and it's probably fine. Like, so maybe the quick fix. So if we go down to buildings, castle, not the panels, but the actual building itself, and the flag waving would go inside there. And now let's see how that works, because then at least it should come up with the rest of the building. Like, it should scale with it, even if it's not got the highlight. Which just looks weird, doesn't it? But let's see if we can remedy that. I think if that flag should be like at 1, so then the highlight layer should appear behind it. Nice and simple fix. Yeah. Is that, like, horrible? Should the flag also be in the little white bit behind that highlights? One of my things I'm thinking as well is I'm not even sure that this is the final way we highlight things. I think it looks quite nice, and it certainly works well on the map. And it's very clear that you've highlighted something, and it's quite neat. Like, I like it. We'll have something similar for when something is the next bit of the story. So telling you, hey, click on this thing because it's the next mission. I think we can actually demo that. It's not there anymore. But yeah, if I start a fresh file, then what should happen is this should be, like, slowly pulsating with white, with like a yellow, a gold color, and then yeah, here it's slightly different, bit faster, Kind of looks a bit weird sometimes coming out the bottom. But you know, it's unique, it's cool. I'm okay with it. This chapel should be thinner. Or the thing should be thinner. And yeah, like, the thing is when it's fully... So am I going to change the size of the box collider as it upgrades? I don't know. I think that might be a step too far. But this is an achievement. We got this working. I think it took longer than it should have. That's what you get for starting on the next day. But yeah, so we've got the flag. I'm not too bothered by that. I'm happy to have the flag happening. The other issue is here, like, it would be nice to have flags on the barracks. But then that would, because the barracks actually has multiple levels to it, that might be a bit tricky. But yeah, and then we've got the level 4 wizard tower has chimney smoke. We could just say don't, but I think it would be quite fun to have some chimney smoke coming from this building. Which I think probably the way to do that would be something like when you upgrade a building. Also, yeah, update building, we say exceptions for sort peripherals. And then it's like if building.name, if building.names is equal to barracks, names dot contains. Oh yeah, no, building.names is equal to buildings.barracks.names. So if it is the barracks, then if building.level is equal to 3, switch flags on, put them in place. This, we would just have to have this. And I think the same would actually go for the blacksmith. So one of the things I'm thinking then is because we've got quite a few scenarios where where we've got these little animated peripherals that I want on them, maybe it is better, instead of doing these odd exceptions, to have some kind of like, so we would have like a building container would have a list of peripherals, and the building would, like, how would I do that though in a clever way? I think I do just have to do it per building. Like, it could be an animation, it could be like, oh, peripheral position on this building is like, that just seems a bit awkward. It's only going to be some of them. But yeah, I guess we would have the same for the blacksmith. But this is something that is like, I should only do this like down the line, because positions might change, the drawings might change, and so on. And it's going to be looking for specific like vector 3 position to put these things in, and that's going to be a bit awkward and a pain. And it's, yeah, let's leave that for later. So sort building peripherals flags Yeah. Okay. Okay, and then yeah, so I've got a little to-do list coming up here. Populate time with roads to buildings. That's something we can do. But yeah, we got the highlighting working, we got the clicking working, we got the upgrading working. I guess we need to do animation for upgrading building. So we've got the coroutine, so we just need to sort of say, okay, replace the sprite with this animation for a building being made. So I'll need to make that animation, then that disappears, and behind it you see the new building. Simple. Building peripherals, put that right after. So shit, we still have quite a lot to do. I probably won't finish this today. In fact, it's almost 4, so I almost certainly won't finish this today. Also, I'm a bit burnt out. But, you know, we have definitely made some progress. Shall we try with the roads then? So we go sprites, spaces. Do we have the roads here? Annual road. And we need to make another one, which is like, can we... Yeah, like what resolution are we working with here? So if a building is 128 by 128, we're probably looking at... And again, I'm not sure about this. It's going to be tricky. It'll be no wider than 64. Yeah, let's go with that. And what I want is a bit of road that I can copy. So it needs to start and end. At the same spot on the y-axis, on the x-axis. And it can be a bit crude for now. I don't have to, like, I probably could do like go a bit further with it, but and then actually the start. See, I think this might actually just be too tricky, because basically it has to come off organically from here, and yeah, it would have to come off organically from there. That's a mistake there. And be the exact length of the thing. So if anything, I would put this on the buildings, but then it still has to come to the road. So actually, I'm gonna cut this one. I don't think it's necessary. I don't feel it's lacking, and I kind of need to move on. So vertical axis to scroll on building panel. Don't select buildings when clicking and dragging. That one might be tricky. Don't hide mouse when using keyboard. Animation for upgrading building. Sort building peripherals. And then we really are done with the map, with the base building screen, and that would be a good point to leave things on Friday. So I think tomorrow morning I'm going to work on the freelance project that I have, sort of do some work for them, do a day's work, and then charge for it and see if I actually get paid for that day's work. And if I do, then I'll be doing more of this. And then in the afternoon try and finish that, and then when we come back on Monday, I guess we could have a session of like filling out the map. Just do all of this, and then it's off the list. And then we could do the SFX. That'll take a couple of days, and let's just start smashing. The main thing when I was looking at a couple of the trailers as well today. The main thing that the game is lacking in terms of visuals, the most important thing I can add right now, is the visibility of debuffs. So when an enemy is on, or when a unit's on fire, at the moment it just has like an orange overlay. And if it's frozen, it just has like a light blue overlay. And what I need is to make it more like an animation. And I thought that I changed it before. It used to be, for a little while, I had particle effect. So particle effect would kind of bring up the fire. I think that might have been too heavy on performance. And I think I might be better off just animating that, just having like a sort of 8-frame animation of fire, you know, rather than using particles. Just kind of do it, just kind of bake it in manually, I guess. And I do that for fire, do that for frost, do that for all of the debuffs that we have at the moment. And that's going to be the biggest improvement to the game visually. But we are working through this list. I guess this list ought to include bases, orc, undead, demon. But yeah, that will do, I think, for today. So thanks very much for joining. I will be back tomorrow afternoon. I might be back tomorrow morning. We'll see. But subscribe. Stay tuned for the next video. You'll get a notification. You'll see when it's scheduled. So thanks very much. This was a short one today, but yeah, cheers. Have a good one. Bye.